Hey students, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Good
evening, sir.
evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. So our Rufus has joined.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Hello.
Yeah. Martin, sir, you're able to hear me?
So am I audible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sir.
you're
It's
audible.
audible. Sir, can we start the session?
Yes, ma, you can start.
Good evening to one and all present here. I, Dhanush Kumar, on behalf of First MA HRM, DG Vaishnav College, welcome you all for today's webinar on topic talent management. Let us welcome our speaker of the day, Mr. Rufus Ravikiran. Mr. Rufus Ravikiran has completed his master in social work, specialized in HR, personal management, and industrial relations from the reputed institute Madras School of Social Work, Chennai. He is an seasoned HR professional with 8 years of strategic and business partnering experience in all gamuts of HR like recruitment, induction, training and development, compensation management, performance management, employee engagement, statutory complaints, and etc. He is also an versatile human resource executive in hands-on experience handling labor and statutory related issues. Mr. Rupesh Ravikiran is a strategic professional who keeps participative management style in diverse workforces. He is an excellent team builder and consultant on personal issues and organizational development and also an proactive change agent who spent his time in employee environment encouraging learning and promoting the increasing productivity of the employee. We welcome you, sir. Now I would like to introduce our head of the Department of Human Resource Management, DG Vaishnav College, Dr. N.C. Martin. He is a highly experienced academician and has about 20 years of academics and administrative experience as professor, HOD, dean, and registrar. He did his postgraduate in labor management and PhD in labor laws from Tamil Nadu Institute of Labor Studies. He started his career as lecturer from the same institution. He held various positions in Arts and Science Colleges, Engineering and Media Colleges. He held academic positions in various educational institutions such as Sri Chandraprabhu Jain College as Assistant Professor and HOD of MSW Department, SAMS College of Engineering and Technology as a Professor and HOD of MBA Department. He was also a placement officer for entire division of SAMS College of Engineering and Technology. During his tenure, he successfully placed engineering and management graduates in top-notch companies of manufacturing and service sector across the country. He continued his career in St. Joseph College of Arts and Science as a Dean of Academics and LV Prasad Film School, one of the best film school in the Asia, working as a registrar. He acted as jury representing the Employees Federation of Southern India for selection of companies for the best practices of year 2018 to 2019. He has added number of research papers and publication to his credit. He is expert in subject of labor legislation and industrial relation. He has given centum research in various HR specialized subjects in the university exam. We welcome you, sir. This meeting is recorded for educational purpose. In case of any doubt or question, the participants can unmute themselves or type their question in the chat box. Now I request Dr. N.C. Martin to speak few words about the topic of the day.
Yes. Thank you for the introduction. And on behalf of our Management Secretary, Sri Ashok Kumar Mundraji, and our Principal, Dr. Santosh Babu, I welcome all the participants for this wonderful webinar on this pleasant evening. I welcome all the professors, students, and HR fraternities. And I mostly welcome and also very pleased to invite our Mr. Rufus Ravikant, the Manager Corporate Recruitment TVS Credit Services. So thank you, sir, for giving consent to host a webinar for everyone. So on the topic of talent management. So the talent management, in order to have a conceptual understanding, so it is not just a simple human resource key term. So one will come across. So it is also committed to hire, manage, develop and retain the most talented and excellent workforce in the industry. So in fact, the talent management plays an important role in the business strategy since it manages the people. We all know one of the most important assets of an organization. So this process is used to identify the talent gaps and the vacant position in the organization by keeping in mind about all the vacancies arising in the respective departments, and the HR source for onboarding suitable candidates and make them to grow them within the system and develop the required skills. So the human resources will be given a suitable training in order to fit for the role, and they will be effectively trained and engaged by the HRs, keeping in mind about the future trends. So these human resources will be constantly motivated to achieve the organizational goals. So that is why the companies should make the effort to effectively manage the employees to help them to develop the skills and capabilities in order to retain them in the longer run. So we all know that the organization are investing in talent management in order to attract the topmost talents. So hence the strategic talent management gives organizations the opportunity to attract the most talented and skilled employees available. So this creates an employer brand that could attract potential talents and in turn contributes to the improvement of the organizations. So not only that, the talent management will pave the way to motivate their employees. It also helps an organization and keep their employee motivated and make them to stay for a longer run in the company. So the other reason for organizations are investing in talent management is that to satisfy their clients in order to maintain a systematic approach to talent management. So there should be an organizational integration and a consistent approach towards the management. So when systems are more integrated, so client satisfaction rates are usually higher since they are dealing with minimal people and the needs are met more quickly. So on the whole, we could say that so investing in talent management will surely be a great help for the company to achieve their goals. So with this, I conclude and welcome our resource person to throw much light and expertise and share his experience in the area of talent management. So over to you. Thanks and all the best.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Dhanush, for the introduction, and thank you, Martin, sir. I hope we are meeting after some 11 to 12 years, I guess. I am not sure if you remember, but I met you when I was studying in SCP Jain College.
Where, sir? SCP Jain College.
Yes.
Oh, very nice. Which year?
2007-10.
2007-10. Oh,
Robert and Francis were.
Oh, maybe they are the successor after me. So I was in department MSW.
I know.
Nice.
Yeah. We met actually. We met in that college. After seeing you, seeing your name, I recollect that we met in Jain College.
Very wonderful coincidence. Thank you, sir. We'll meet and discuss.
Yeah, definitely, sir. So thank you so much. And so I'll just present a PPT, a short PPT, which I have prepared for this particular session. 1 second. I'm trying to connect it. So the topic for today would be like talent. Discuss different topics on the talent management. Okay, and I'll not bore you guys with a lot of slides or anything. We will just go with some outliers or outlines on the talent management and what is the difference it makes in HR, and how is it different from the employee engagement. Okay, and how we can make a talent pool in a particular organization, as well as we can also go with and post which now I was getting some references or requests from the students team that to speak about some niche skills or niche hiring which is currently going in the market, and we'll also have some points collated, and we'll discuss on that particular part too, and post which you can we can have the Q&A session wherein based on your questions, I can relate it to my personal experiences in this past years of experience in the corporate industry and give you examples for talent management or hiring or any part of HR gamut. So hopefully we'll go to the next we'll start with the slides. Yeah, so generally talking about talent management, so what is talent management? We generally define as a strategic process of getting the right talent on board and helping them grow to their optimal capabilities, aligning with the organizational objectives. It's more of wherein companies or organizations will have their objectives framed for its growth and for the employees' well-being and for the growth, and we would be or a talent manager would be aligning these particular goals or the objectives with the performance of the employees, wherein it's a mutual consent to grow equally in the society. So yeah, what would be the difference between talent management and talent engagement? Talent management, it generally acquires and supports higher levels of skills and knowledge, whereas employee engagement increases the value application of the skills and knowledge. I guess you got this point. So next one would be talent generates revenue and reduces the expenses. Engagement lets them do that more, do that better. Let's say, for example, if an employee is not motivated in the company, so obviously not motivated, and he needs to have some motivational levels or some driving force to have him self-motivated, or there should be a team or a person who gives some motivational support for that particular employee in that organization to perform well. In that aspect, we use employee engagement as a tool for that particular employee to develop his skill sets or his talent, and we can have him acquiring his higher levels of skill sets. Okay, and yes, coming back to the strategic components, generally there are two parts here where we are describing. One is the upper level, wherein the strategic components would be initially we while hiring or onboarding an employee, we plan on the job description. First, there should be clarity towards job description. Unless and until there is some clarity or over the JD whom we are hiring, okay, then organization will definitely have a wrong candidate hired, as well as there will not be any fitment of role or fitment of suitable skilled employee in the organization. So JDs would be prepared very carefully, and as per the JD, the candidates would be hired. And the second point which we would be looking at would be person to organizational fitment. So they generally in market we use psychometric tools for this particular one, where where we have a set of questionnaires prepared, and we would be having the employee or the candidate checking for his skill sets or personality tests or behavioral test basis, which will arrive at a conclusion whether this person would be fit to the organization or not. Okay, and at the hiring, this generally happens in the hiring process, and this also happens, at some cases when we are moving an employee from one team to another team. Let's say if let's say Rufus is moving from HR to a planning team, or a HR planner, or as something related to the business team, then how well this personality fits in that particular new role, that we need to analyze, or we need to have it to the mark. And yeah, so that's how there is an analysis program which is happening in almost all the companies, or in most of the market. Okay, and next one would be R&R, rewards and recognition. So once the employee fits in very well with his current role, it is just not that we stop him with that particular role, or else we just, I mean, it's not about just don't give any compensation, rewards or anything, but we need to encourage. It's more of an encouraging the employee to take up new tasks, new roles, okay, and new portfolios even, and by means of R&R, rewards and recognitions. So once an employee is recognized and he's rewarded, he'll feel delighted, and there will be a motivation. That will be definitely a motivational factor for him to achieve his targets, and even that makes him to move towards the organizational growth. And the fourth component comes for continuous improvement, wherein this is where L&D plays a major role here. L&D, with the help of L&D team, like most of the employee engagement or talent management teams would design a program and develop the program, and run it to the employees for their career growth. It's more of the other terms we call it as succession planning. Even at the bottom line, you can see that particular column. I'll explain you on that. So continuous improvement would be, it is just not sticking to one page or one role. It is more of doing multi-talented or multiple tasks. Okay, we would any organization in that case would want that particular employees to be a multitasked or a multi-rolled employee. And even in fact, we would every organization would want the employee to be an multi-faced key player, but not just mono-faced employee handling a single task, or working on particular tasks which were assigned to him. And yes, if you look at strategic components in terms of HR, relating to the HR, talent management, the way how HR looks at is like first, talent identification. We identify that talent, as I was telling you, there is a perfect JD which will be designed, okay, and yeah, we'll identify that particular talent. Okay, let's assume that what if hiring goes wrong? Just a practical question, like what if hiring goes wrong and I'm not hiring an exact fitment to the role what I have, what the JD has been mentioned, or what I was supposed to take. So when there is a hiring going wrong, and we are unable to take a candidate with a good skill set or good talent, then obviously my succession plan would go in vain, and I will not have anybody in my talent pool to develop for the next role. And there's no point of talent development, okay, because I have hired a wrong person, and that particular one would be used only for a single task, not for a multitasking, and not even to any other roles which organization offers, but only to the particular or a confined role which we have indicated earlier. So obviously there will be an attrition. So there is no point of talking on the retention part. So let's say on the correct part, if we identify, like if you are going to hire the correct talent, what would happen? Definitely, like there would be an succession planning happening, wherein we'll have a talent pool, and we will have employees who will be successing their supervisors, or to any other bigger tasks or to the bigger roles. Okay, that's where that leads to talent development, wherein after him, who would lead that particular project. Let's say if I'm hiring an IT project manager, and he's been with very good skill set or very good talents, he's been promoted to a program manager, okay, which is one step above that project manager. So when he's being promoted to a program manager, it's just not that company gives him a promotion just like that. He has to showcase his skill sets, he has to prove himself, he has to convince the customers, he has to convince the clients, okay, and everybody, so that he'll be promoting to the next level. So yeah, so as he is moving up the ladder, so there will be a space which will be coming for his juniors to be at his current role. So there will be a possibility of applications coming in for project managers, and there will be again, we'll have T&D will be training the candidate or the employees to take up the role of project manager or the project manager. And yes, this leads to talent retention, okay, and the attrition percentage will definitely fall down, and there will not be much on the attrition part, and we'll have employees retaining in the same company with higher grades, higher obviously compensation, and in fact multitasking roles. Okay, so these are all interlinked to each other. Let's say if you just look at this particular picture, a talent identification, for a good talent to be identified, we need a perfect JD, correct? So once the talent is identified, there will be a succession planning or the talent development which is happening. So succession planning, it also happens through the analysis or different tools what we use here in the market with some organizational fitment of the employee. And there comes talent development. Yes, it just not happens with R&R, but it also happens with the continuous improvement of his own skill sets. Okay, and the last one would be the talent retention. Okay, yes, talent retention even happens with rewards and recognitions and continuous improvement and the fitment and his fitment to the organization. So yeah, I'll move on to the next one. So yes, why is talent management so important in this current scenario? Earlier, like we would have studied in our textbooks, like in 1940s or somewhere around 1930s, HR department has evolved as personnel department. Initially, at the initial level, it was named as personnel department, and in the late 70s or 80s only, it's named as HRD, human resource development. And later on, in the recent years, it has been termed as HRM, human resources management. And now or in the near future, this name has been even derived as human capital managers or human capital management, HCM. Okay, so when there is a lot of a scope of improvement or a lot of changes happening in this particular trend or in our own fraternity, like we're also having bifurcations in terms of having the talent pool. Generally, HRM would be initially or earlier divided into two parts, like pre-recruitment and post-recruitment. Talent acquisition group would be different, and talent engagement group would be different. But here, first, which in some point of time, there are three divisions wherein TAG, talent acquisition group, talent engagement group, as well as there is something called talent management group, which was been evolved. Okay, it's more of thinking on the strategic points, and collaborating the strategies towards creating a talent pool in the organization, and for the growth of the employee, as well as to design the career path of the employee, as well as the organizational's growth. This talent management team is being evolved, and yeah, and how do that work out? Because generally talent management team works to train and retain current employees and advance them to higher positions in the organization. Yeah, as I was telling you in the previous slides, like we give them there will be a continuous improvement happening. So L&D divisions, this is just not, talent management is just not a team wherein they do it independently or individually. It is something like, worked collaboratively with almost all the segments of or gamuts of HR, wherein they should have an L&D team tied up, wherein they design and develop the programs for the continuous improvement, and they should be in touch with component team, okay, to have the rewards and recognition structures or component structures benchmarked as per the market strategy, or as per the industry, okay. And it also would be tied up or having a rapport with employee engagement teams. If there is a team, employee engagement team is different from talent management team, then yes, obviously there should be an employee engagement team, okay. And yes, the second point, like talent management helps employees feel engaged, skilled, motivated, allowing them to work in the direction of the company's business goals, which in turn increases employee satisfaction and business performance. Okay, like as I was telling you, so what makes an employee engaged? Yeah, so the employee engagement strategies, or there are particular tools, okay, or we can term as employee engagement is one of the tool for talent management. Let's say employee engagement activities, we have a lot of activities like fun-filled activities or fun Fridays and town hall meetings, okay, and there are some sports activities, rehabilitation activities going on. But yeah, they are all a part of tool to develop the talents in the particular organization and to get them retained in the organization. Yeah, I'll move on to the next one. So in HR aspect, like how is talent management very much important? Now in the current scenario or the current trends, HR is being looked as a solution provider for anything and even everything in the organization. The reason why I quoted this particular point is like, it's more of operational or a coordination work, wherein, if there is an income tax issue or income tax clarification, employees directly won't reach out to the finance department. They'll definitely reach out to the HR only. HR would be the facilitator to the employee or for the employees to get the issue resolved. So in that aspect, first HR themselves should be equipped with different aspects in the organization, and with all the gamuts of HR and the strategies, whatever is going in the market, as well as to handle the employee grievances or the queries from the queries or issues, whatever facing by the employees. Yeah, talent management can also be termed as future of employee experience. How do we tell this future of employee experience? It's more of generally we have this lot of surveys happening, or we have some Gallup surveys or studies happening, and employee branding, not on the employer branding, I'm talking about employee branding the organization. Okay, so for all these things, talent management works or have it for the would be for the future of employee experience. Yeah, and talent management, yes, in HR aspect, this as in the current situation, something called, we are all seeing or literally, experiencing new normal of working. Let's say everybody work, not everybody, like in the past 1 year, like most of them has worked from home only, and even in the coming future, most of the IT companies have planned to have them work from home. And yeah, in some of the manufacturing companies and other NBFCs or banking, for the corporate employees, this work from home option has been delivered. Okay, and how do we as a HR equip with this particular new normal of working? And yes, from the HR point of view, technology influencing the HR management. Okay, so what is the generally technology influencing HR management nowadays? Like not just, we don't find any of the company in the market wherein they don't have an HR tool. Every company in the market have a HR tool, smaller or bigger, whatever it may be, or which is of high influential, or which is at international standards, or at national standards, or even they have something internally developed by their own teams. We have a HR tool, let's say like SAP, Workline, okay, and we have Adrenaline, Ramco systems. All these things were there. But yes, how is that we as a HR going or the talent managers influencing the HRIS or HR system by this particular technology? Now what is happening is that for my personal experiences from my previous organizations, it is or it will be HR's duty. One second, I think there is some. Yeah, I think I can continue. So yeah, I was talking about technology influencing the HR management. Nowadays, what is happening is like at the time of hiring, generally or earlier, how the hiring used to be, like HRs just need to be specialized in a 2-year course from the HR, okay, or human resources MBA or MSW, MHRM, or MLM or anything like that. But now the requirement is going in a different aspect, wherein a BTech IT student who is very good in development in terms of software development or query handling in the sense software queries. I'm talking about software queries. And third one would be like backend SQL and MySQL development, database management with an MBA or MHRM or MLM program. Okay, they have been hired as talent managers in I don't say most of the companies, but this has been a prerequisite in some of the companies, whatever I have known so far. Okay, the reason why we are asking or why they are demanding for this type of skill set is like they don't want somebody else to develop a HR tool for their company and run it in their company. They want themselves who does it, who can design a tool, who can implement the tool, or let's say HRIS software, and then they can run it in their own companies. Okay, and yeah, the fifth aspect would be engage employees in the work from home scenario. This has been a major task in the last 1 year or last couple of months, wherein how do we engage employees in the work from home scenario. Any of the employee engagement tools were not been made used for this engaging the employees in this particular work from home scenario. But how to do that? So there lies, or there comes the talent management strategies. Okay, so here in my past experiences, how we did is like, we have given different learning modules to the employees. We have designed, implemented them within a couple of days, or within a week's time, and then within a very short time, and we have sent the employees the learning modules, wherein they can easily have that from their mobile, or they can have it from their laptop or whatever, and then they can go through that study material. Okay, and we'll have an quiz programs. Yeah, we term it as a gamification and technically. And yes, so with this particular L&D modules, we call them as mini bites or micro bites. Just a 1-pager or a 2-pagers. We'll have the employees read it, and then we'll have a test would be happening, and there will be 10 to 15 modules or 15 bytes for a module. Let's say if I'm giving a program, or if I'm running a program for KYC AML, which is a banking standard. So I'm not sure, like, most of the employees would be knowing about this, and how serious RBI looks into this particular aspect of having KYCs, AML program known by the employees. So we run this particular program with all the employees, have them study the material, and make them take the test, okay, and get them cleared. This is one of the tool which we have implemented or used in this particular work from home scenario, and I am telling you, like, it was a great success. Okay, and yeah, last but not least, this one would be like improvising the hiring strategy. Improvising the hiring strategy. I have one more point in the last slide to discuss on this particular point. Okay, so we generally used to take care of the hiring only through job portals or employee references, other stuff. There is a trend which is coming in now. Maybe it was been in the system for the past couple of years, but not very excellently taken care, but now it is booming up. Okay, and yes, as a HR, we need to always think on the reskilling and upskilling part for the employees. This really makes a strategic response to changing the skill demands. Okay, the reason why I'm telling is like, here in TVS we have one program. Okay, there is an IJP, internal job posting, which would be coming, which would be floating to all the employees at some particular grades. Okay, wherein any department person can apply. Let's say, for example, I'm getting an position for analytics. Okay, so we will float the IJP, and who are interested can apply for that, and there will be a selection panel happening, and there will be a couple of interviews happening, and we'll see as eligibility as per the criteria we framed for internal job posting, and post which we will be giving the candidate, I mean, upon the selection of the particular candidate or the employee. Let's say for example, HR is applying for an analytics position. Okay, and he is getting selected in that particular interviews. There will be an upskilling part for him, wherein we give him rigorous training towards analytics, data analytics and data science. Okay, and data management through cloud and everything. So that particular analytics team need this type of skill set, but I'm not sure like every HR or all the HRs will have this particular skill set. So we will be upskilling that particular employee who's been interested in this in the other particular role, and we will have him in that particular role post he clears all the tests and everything. So that's where it will be a strategic response to changing the skill demands. I hope like I'm done with the talent management thing. If I've just gone through some outliers of that. If anybody have any clarifications or any questions on this particular one, we can take it forward before we go to the niche skills. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we can keep Q and question at the last of the
Okay.
session.
So I'll complete this one also. I mean, in the last we can have the Q&A. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Dhanush. Yeah. So yes. So when I was just talking to one of your classmates and was trying to understand what would be the requirement or request from the students, knowing what is happening in the market, and what would be as a passing out student. So what would be their preparation for entry to the corporate level or to the corporate industry, or how is that they need to prepared well with things. So this is one of the major role which I'm playing currently in my organization, wherein I am handling the leadership and niche hiring. Niche hiring is something like it is very rare in the market. Let's say when you talk about 2013-14, when I was in an IT company, at that time the niche skill in IT industry would be Ruby on Rails, ROR. Okay, that Ruby on Rails, we used to struggle hard to find somebody who studied that Ruby on Rails, and that was the time wherein Python has come in. And now I think it is in the market. Everybody knows Python, and even everybody is equipped with Ruby on Rails as of in the current trend. That Ruby on Rails and Python, they would be used for IoTs, Internet of Things, IoT devices, IoT plans, or something related to that particular modules. And yes, as I was telling you, in 2013 or 14, that was the very niche skill in the IT industry, wherein we used to, we used to struggle hard to get somebody on board for that role, and we used to sell out like 100 to 150% of hike from his current compensation. So that's how we used to do. But as of now, that after 4 or 5 years, that will be cooled down. Like everybody will be learning that, and that will be out of the market, wherein it will not be a niche skill. So I think like every 5 years or every 4 years, there will be rotation of the niche skills. Something 1 or 2 will be coming in, and people has to be upgraded themselves, or people has to get update on the trends or what is happening in the market with the technologies or different frameworks. So currently in the IT industry, like even though I belong to an NBFC, non-banking finance segment, we have a very big IT team, and we have a big analytics team here, data science team, and we also go with a cloud computing team. Okay, so that's how I can relate something. And as I am hiring people in this particular aspect, so I can tell you this would be the niche skill sets in the market. One is like cyber security. Nowadays it's been very hard to find who's very good in cyber security. Okay, even though we have cyber cells and everything, but let's say for a banking segment or an NBFC segment, we go as per the RBI norms. RBI defines that any system or any communication method should be used only for the organization alone, not for outsiders. Okay, so it took in my previous stint when I was there in Equitas, for the IT team, it took almost 3 to 4 months of time to decode and then implement a tool or program to run in all the laptops that they can block having the data taken out from the laptop, or having it in the laptop using some pen drives or other stuff, and that too remotely. So all the laptops has to be connected to a single cloud management, and that cloud management, we need to induce some programs run in that, and it has to be framed in all the laptops. Okay, so I'm just giving an example. That's how it works. And there are nobody, I mean, there is very less skill set in the market, and somebody has to learn that particular one and has to implement that particular cyber security programs in the laptops. Yeah, next one would be cloud computing and data analytics and data science, networking and wireless. As I was telling you, even in banking segment, let's say I belong to head office of TVS now. I work out of the head office. Let's say if I'm traveling to my outlet or branch which is in Bihar or Jharkhand. So when I go to the office, how do I connect it to my network, or how do I connect my laptop to the network, or to the data points which I stored, or the data files which I have stored in the in my cloud. Okay, so that one we definitely need to have some systems running and the programs running, and unless and until that program is installed in my laptop, I cannot be able to take it from a remote location. So a lot of things, yes. And next one would be like software development, AI and machine learning, project management, programming. Project management in the sense like this is becoming, initially there will be only 1 or 2 people in the organization where they handles project management. We call them as PMO, project management officer. They'll have all the projects with them. They just give the approvals for that, and how to take or how to take off that particular project to the next level. Now it's been redefined as planning team. There will be a financial planner who will have budgeting, costing, and P&L, profit and loss, other stuff. And there will be also an planners for each and every verticals or the divisions of the organization. Yeah, and niche skills in HR. Okay, when it comes to HR, okay, what is it? What would be the niche skills? As I was telling you, data analytics and data science is just booming like anything in the market, and HR with, or a HR graduate with technology background, a BTech IT student who has passed his MBA or MHRM, MBA or MSW, he would be an very much wanted by most of the companies to develop the HR strategy or to manage the data science and do some analytics or analysis over the data. So we have different modules on the attrition modules, and predictive analysis can be happening, predictive in terms of business productivity, attrition productivity, or productivity. How do we predict the productivity for the next 3 years if the trend is going like that? This is more of trend analysis. Okay, and the second one would be like AI and machine learning. This is more of generally, like if we call a customer care of Airtel or some any organization or any banking segment, what would happen? We would first not be connected with directly to the customer care executive. There will be an IVR running, and we need to press whatever questions and other stuff. Okay, and that's how it goes. Now we are having a trend in HR with a lot of organizations like Scope International, or big bankings like ICICI, HDFC, okay, and they're having something called voice bots. Even TVS, we are also having a plan, and we are almost in run of implementing that voice bots here for the employees, wherein HR queries can be handled through voice bots or mailer bots. We just type a query and you get a reply from reply automatically, clarifying your query, or else it will be directed to that particular department. And yeah, third one would be project management. As I was telling you, there will be a planning team. It was earlier restricted to financial planning or in the finance department only, but now it's been coming to other departments or other verticals of the business also, to have particular planning team working on that. And yeah, I was talking in the talent management hiring part about social media hiring. Yes, FB, we may not be able to hire from FB, but we are checking the references and what sort of candidate he would be from this particular FB posts, or what would be his homepage looks like. And LinkedIn, yes, a lot of recruitment is happening through LinkedIn because of the professional network. And now, like, almost all the companies were posting their jobs in the LinkedIn and getting the candidates, suitable candidates from that particular LinkedIn. Earlier it was not, it was through Naukri and other job portals like Shine or Indeed, something else like that. But now this LinkedIn has come in a professional way, wherein it just leads to the hiring of even niche skills, or else even some of the standard skill sets. Let's say, for example, there is currently an skill set in the testing which is called as 6.0 testing. You won't believe, when I just checked in the market, there are only 39 candidates available in the market. 39. Can you just think about that? 39 candidates who just know 6.0 testing. This is an IT testing, IT tool testing, and as of now, that would be the niche skill, wherein there will be very much demand for that particular testing module. And yeah, and the next one would be gamification techniques. These two, I mean, the last one would be like HRIS and TM software, talent management software. These two things would be the same, more or less the same skill set required, because for the gamification techniques, we need strategy. Yes. Second thing, we need subject knowledge. Yes. And then we also need somebody to develop a tool, or who can design a tool, so that gamification techniques or game or that games, or else the surveys, whatever we take, can be reached by all the employees of the organization. And same way, HRIS and HRMS, I was telling you now, earlier, like, there is a SAP consultant whom we used to hire, and he used to write the codes and design the tool, design the work lines, workflows, everything. But now it is been coming to the HR, and it is the, let's say, literally it is the headache of HR to create the workflows and create the work lines in that particular modules, and then align it for the organization. But yes, this is very thrilling, and this experience gives a lot of insights for you, wherein you would be understanding the in and out of HR, where it starts and where it ends. If you're totally into this particular HRIS and HRMS implementations. Okay, I was giving you some examples. SAP, Workline, ATS. ATS is called as application tracking system. This we generally use it in recruitment front, wherein an applicant, let's say in large organizations like Boeing or aviation industry or an international standard organization, if an employee who has multiple outlets or multiple offices or branches all over the world, not about India, all over the world, then how do you track an application which is coming from, let's say my head office is located at New York. How do I track an application which is coming from India or Andaman or Australia? So there is a tracking system, application tracking system, and how do we respond back to that? And how do we take the candidature on board? Okay, and yes, I think that ends my session on talent management and niche skills. Would be open for Q&A.
Thank you, sir. Participants, if you have any questions, you can unmute your mic or type your questions in the chat box.
No, talent management policies should be transparent to all the company employees. What I mean, why is that it should not be reflecting to all the employees? Would there be any particular reason that it should not be reflecting to the all the employees? It is, I mean, relevancy of population is something like it is applying to all the employees of that particular organization. So yes, it should be transparent, or it will be transparent. There is no point in that. It will definitely be transparent. Yeah, Ms. Bhagyalakshmi, what are the challenges that come with talent management? How do we deal with them? Yes, talent management. See, until and unless you are equipped with knowledge or hands-on experiences towards handling employees. Let's say, for example, if there is an employee query, I'm telling you out of my personal experience. There is an employee in my previous company wherein she was demanding for 7 rupees of deduction in the payslip, and she has created a huge mess in the organization. Just 7 rupees. Okay, but she is unaware, like why that 7 rupees is being deducted. Okay, and if she would have seen the payslip, it would have been cleared off. She has not taken that. And when I came into the picture, and it was actually the deduction was happened for LWF fund, labor welfare fund. It is a mandatory, and it is deductible, or it is deducted for all the employees once in a year. So unless and until I know this, I would have been blank before that particular employee handling this query. So you need to equip with a lot of industry standards, in fact, yes, labor laws and other stuff before you handle the employee queries, or or the challenges which are coming from the talent management. Our talent management in this is like managing the challenges from the talents. Yeah, Divya Darshini, how is talent acquisition related to talent management? Talent acquisition related to talent management, simple, hiring right. We need to hire the right candidate. As I was telling you initially, what if hiring goes wrong? Done, everything will be screwed up. Correct? So we need to have a strategic job description, strategic measures to hire a candidate with the exact skill set. We need to hire the candidate. Okay? Yes, and Narendran, the so-called technology revolution owing to the pandemic has displaced various aspects of management. How do you think displacement will help management? Narendran, yes, of course, digitization will definitely help the team management. For example, it's an live scenario. I am telling you, how are we connected now? I did not come to your college, or you did not come to a place wherein I am present. We did not meet anywhere, but we are meeting virtually. Simple. So digitization is connecting our team members, right? as simple as it is. So we have not thought of this earlier in the previous years, but now it is a mandatory tool for everyone, to have the team management. Hope I'm clear on that, Narendran. Yeah, and Bhagyalakshmi, if in an organization we have people of the same caliber, there is overstaffing. How do we decide whom to retain? See, there is nothing like whom to retain, or uh, employees would always be on the same caliber. Okay, but there is something called performance appraisal, and there will be an 365 appraisal systems or appraisal metrics which will be taken care. And yes, their caliber would be correct or the same, but there will be an plus or minus things happening or with the particular employees. So that's where we decide them, whether to retain, or whether to have them onto the other role, or whether to have them in a different prospects. And there is nothing like overstaffing, Bhagyalakshmi. We never think on the part of overstaffing unless and until the project is over or the project is completed. 1 second. Hey, I'm sorry. I just went on mute. There was some disturbance here. So I just went on mute. Yeah, I was. Yeah. I was talking on the topic of Bhagyalakshmi. There is no overstaffing. I mean, overstaffing would be there when they. I mean, that we call it as a bench employees, wherein when the project is over or called off or it's been closed off, then we find them on the bench. Ashwati, what are the skills that are expected in a HR? What are the skills that are expected in a HR in a talent management process? One would be the strategic point, madam. The second one would be equipped with different knowledge or different strategies of HR aspects. Is it possible to, yeah, next one would be Priyadarshini. Is it possible to manage talents in a small organization where the numbers is less than 100? Yeah, if the numbers are very less, it would be very easy to manage the talents. Okay, it would be very easy to manage the talents, and we can have them a very good career path. But at particular point of time, their career path, we may not be able to give them high career growths in a smaller organization. But yes, if the organization accepts and agrees for the same, and the strategy what we HR implements in that particular smaller organizations for the betterment of the employee or the career prospects of the employee, this can happen. And how is talent management going to change the recruitment process in the future? Anuradha. Yes, talent management, how is it going to change the recruitment process? It's already, no, the process is already been changed, or it's been changing. Okay, and the process of recruitment is under process, is what I can tell you. To find the exact talents, or to find the good talents, we are looking at different aspects, just not with the tool or job portals. We are going on with business references, networking, and company to company peer references, job headhunting. All these things is happening. So that's where we hire the good talents in the market, and that's how it is already been in change of the recruitment process. Okay. So anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to interact with you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dhanush.
Now I
I'm very
request.
glad that, Yeah, Dhanush, you're telling something?
Yeah, sir, you continue.
No. I'm very glad that we are on time. We have started on time and we completed on time. I don't know. I'm sorry if I have taken your 3 more minutes of your time, but
No, sir, it's fine.
okay.
Now I request. Now I request Vinay Babu to render the vote of thanks.
Management is doing things right and leadership is doing right things. I, Vinay Babu of First MA HRM, would like to take this wonderful opportunity to thank our esteemed speaker, Mr. Rufus Ravikiran, Manager Corporate Recruitment, TVS Services. I would like to share few key takeaways from today's session. Talent management is a strategic process of getting the right talent. Employee engagement is one of the most important roles to get talent management. And talent management works on training and retaining of the employees of an organization. We are the future HRs would really work on the understanding provided by our speaker. Sharing is caring is an old proverb. True. To this thought, I would like to thank our PG Department of HRM's pillar, HOD Dr. N.C. Martin, for arranging this webinar, and Professor Subatni for organizing this webinar, providing an enlightening tool for the pragmatic arena of HR. Finally, I would like to extend my gratitude to the participants from various professions and students. Kindly fill up the feedback form provided in the chat box below. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prahlad.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think, I think session was good, and you may keep in touch with me if there is anything, any queries or anything in the future. As an aspiring HR, I mean, you can always come back to me on that. And I think I'll share you my email ID as well as my contact number. So yes, you can have it noted down.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so yeah, done.
Thank you
Done
so
then.
much, sir.
We'll possibly have an direct interaction, and I can also share you some inputs on my personal experiences over this decade of experience in HR to handle the labor issues or the union issues created by the employees from banking segment. Maybe we can plan one more time on that. Due to time constraint, I did not explain more on that, but yes, thank you very much, guys. Thank you, team. Martin sir, thank you so much. We'll catch up